fishingfloridawater.com episode. We are going to be taking a look at the Gold Cup GCP-30 rod and reel combo. However, I want to let you know ahead of time that you probably will only find the rod and reel combo together when they are purchased together, which will probably be only if you buy them at a place like Bass Pro Shop or something that sells them together. Online, you'll probably only find a GCP-30 reel only. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about this reel, specifically what the purpose of this reel is, as well as some of the features of the reel and why this type of reel is used, and when it's normally used, and maybe, if I remember, whether it's something I'd recommend new people to use and stuff. Okay, so first off, this is known as a conventional reel. It's a low-end conventional reel. Normally, you would find these types of reels being used in deep-sea fishing places. Like when you're going out deep-sea fishing on a boat, you would see a reel set up kind of like this. Probably a bigger, thicker rod would be used, and probably obviously a higher quality reel will be used as well. And that's normally what you'll find conventional reels for, is deep sea fishing. Some guys actually use these rods and reel, well, the rod and the conventional reel itself, mainly for, sometimes they'll use them for inshore, like big game fishing, specifically like sharks, right? Sharks or something like that, they'll use a setup like this for, and they may even be using it on the beach too, is where they'll be using it. Technically, you're not really allowed to shark fish in Florida with a conventional reel, specifically shark fishing from a beach, because it's actually, from what I know, it's supposed to be actually illegal to shark fish on a beach, because what it does is attract sharks where people swim, and yeah, you get people hurt if you're shark fishing. Anyways, though, normally what this type of setup is used for. Basically, this reel here, the GCP-30 conventional reel, has about 17.5 pounds of drag, and I'll talk to you about the features on this reel. So it uses a star drag, which basically is this area here where the handle is. There's a star type shaped knob, I guess you could say, and adjusting it forward will tighten the drag on it so that the fish can't swim away anymore. However, if a fish is big enough, it'll push through this lockdown drag that you can put on this reel, because there's only 17.5 pounds of force that this reel can handle. And if it's a bigger fish that's stronger than that, he's just gonna take this reel and give it a run for it, you know. So that being said, that's when loosening the drag and kind of a long fight begins, when you are dealing with a low-end reel and stuff like that. Hopefully you don't kill the reel. But anyways, like I said, loosening it will allow the drag on it to be a little bit more looser. The looser you make it, more give the line's going to be able to have to it and stuff. Tighter, the fish isn't going to be able to run. You get the point, hopefully. The next feature on this reel is what I call the spool braking system on it. By braking, I mean the spool, if the braking button isn't set correctly, you will get, on these types of reels, they're pretty much similar to a bait caster, okay? They will get what is known as a bird's nest when you go and you put this and you drop it into the water. If it's too loose, when the minute you let go of, when you bring the lever down to let the line out, it's just going to fall so fast that the spool is just going to spool up. Like the line's just literally going to fly, like come balling up and in this area here. So anyways, it's really important, and I'll show you what the little knob looks like. You might be able to see it right here. This is known as this, what I call the spool braking system right here. Adjusting it forward like that will tighten it. Bringing it backwards will loosen it and stuff. So the tighter you make it, the less it's going to be able, the spool's going to be able to move, basically. The looser you make it, the more the spool's going to be able to freely move, which will cause your birds nesting and stuff. So you got to kind of play around with that spool braking system there, depending on the weight of the bait that you're using. So if it's a jig or cut bait or live bait, you kind of basically have to just use the lever here and drop it down to the free position, and you would have your rod tip pointed roughly about 90 degrees, you could say, and you would kind of like keep your thumb on the spool itself, kind of like this here, you might be able to see. And as you're letting the line fall to the water, right, you're going to want to make sure that it's got a nice slow, not super slow, but you want to have this drop that's kind of a steady drop like this. You don't want like a, you know, because that's going to cause your bird's nest. You don't want something like this either, where it's taking you an hour to get the weight, bait, or whatever to go into the water. So it's kind of a thing you have to kind of play around with until you get it right. And it has to be adjusted for each different type of bait, because one bait might be heavier than the other, one might be lighter than the other, and so on. But probably not by that much. But anyways, that's that part. So that's basically the drag system and the spool braking system that we were talking about. Now we're going to talk about the retrieving and the free lever here. Now the retrieve is obviously the part on the reel that when it's set to the up position, like you probably can see right there, it's up. That means that you can reel it in. If the lever is set to the free, what's happening here is that the line is freely going to be able to go out. So if the current's taking the line out, wherever the current is taking, or if you got a live bait on, the bait is going to just freely be able to go wherever it wants to go, because the line is freely moving with it, as you can see there. So that's going to allow it to freely move. So obviously when you get a fish on, you're obviously going to want to flip the lever up to stop the spool from allowing it to go out and start reeling in your fish, and you'll have that little click sound. Now there is another feature on this that can be combined with the free part, which allows you to have this audible clicking sound, right? So let's say, for example, you were to want to just sit back, right, and you wanted to just pull up your phone and go check out fishingfloridawater.com and see if there's any new episodes while you're waiting for a bite, right? So you could set this in a pole holder, maybe on a pier, or lay it up against the pier, and set the lever here to the free mode. And then there's a button here on the other side of this reel, and when it is switched to the down position, this will give you this audible clicking sound, so that the minute a big fish, right, or a fish that's strong enough to pull the line, it will make this sound right here. It will keep making that sound until you flip the lever up. Now here's the thing you should know. While you keep that audible clicking sound down, the minute you set that retrieve lever up to the retrieve position here, that when you start to reel it in, if you don't turn that switch back up, it's going to make this sound as you're reeling it in. So it's a good idea that when you get a fish on, that you press that button up again and then you make sure your retrieve lever is up, and then this will allow you to reel in your fish without having that annoying audible clicking sound. But if you like that sound, you can use it. But anyways, so this combo ran about $100 or whatnot, and I have caught one fish so far with it. I work so much I don't have time to really fish and stuff, and anyways, I really haven't got to use this reel much as I would like to use it. But the real quick though, specifications on this. This reel can hold, give or take, okay, it depends on the diameter of your line, your braid that you're going to use. 20 pounds of braid, it can hold roughly 590 yards. 25 pounds of braid, it can hold maybe 490 yards. And with the max that it recommends for this reel, which is 30 pounds of braid, it's 460 yards, and that give or takes on the diameter, the thickness of the braid that you're using. And I'd highly recommend that you stick with like Power Pro braid. Don't put mono on this, because it's just a waste of time to put mono. Your mono is so thick that you're not going to get that much line on there, and you're probably looking at having it just look and wad up and stuff, and yeah. So anyways, if you are going to line this reel yourself, you have to run the line through this here. See if I can show you a close-up of it. So there is this part right here. You should be able to see there where my finger is pointing at. The line has to come into here, this little spacing here, and then you have to tie a knot onto the spool area here, and then that is when you can start reeling on line onto this spool. If you don't put the line in between this metal piece right here, the line's not going to evenly spread across the spool, which means you're going to have probably a nasty looking line up on there. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up this episode for this one on the Offshore Angler Gold Cup GCP-30 conventional reel. Have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe today. And if you would like, feel free to share this YouTube channel with some of your fishing buddies. And it helps people know about my channel and helps me grow my channel so that I can hopefully get more viewers and subscribers, and maybe be able to monetize my videos so that I'm able to buy more fishing tackle to show you guys and ladies before you buy, and give a little educational talk about it as well. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all check out future episodes coming soon.